Independent grocers, listen closely. AI is no longer optional. It's your unfair advantage. Now, if you're asking yourself, can you compete with Walmart and Amazon? The real question is, can you outsmart them using AI? Hey everyone, this is Professor Ken with Omnichannel Grocer. I bring AI, technology, and great brands to new independent retailers, grocers, and throughout the industry. Today, we're diving into one of the most important shifts happening in the grocery industry right now. That's AI-powered shopper empowerment. Because let's be real, grocery is no longer just about products. It's about people, personalization, and now health. And AI is making all of this possible. Now, there's a big shift from products to shopper intelligence, and we need to break this down because for years, grocery was built on price, on proximity, on promotions, but today, that's not enough. We move through three major phases of commerce right now. We have transactional commerce, which we have search, click, and buy. We have intentional commerce, which is recommendations and personalization. And then we have agentic commerce, which is AI is building the basket for you. So here's the big insight. Independent grocers are no longer competing on price. They're competing on intelligence and experience. And for the first time ever, small grocers can actually out-experience big retailers. That's because AI removed the banner, of course. So why does this matter? Well, think about food equals health. Here's something most grocers are not thinking about. Over 60% of the US consumers have at least one chronic condition, and 75% of adults are dealing with health challenges. So the shopper is beginning to ask not only what's on sale, but what's going to be good for me. This is where AI changes everything. Now, the grocery store, the websites, and the app has to become not only a shopping platform, but a health platform, a decision engine, a personal assistant for food, health, and growth. So how does it empower the shopper? Let me simplify what this means for the shopper. Instead of searching products one by one and guessing what to cook, manage the diet manually, now they can say, I have diabetes. I have a $100 budget and 20 minutes. What should I eat this week that's going to keep me on track and keep me healthy? AI will now generate a meal plan, build a cart, even recommend exact products, and optimize this for health. That's not convenience, that's empowerment. And one of the coolest features is going to be food vision. Think about taking a picture of your fridge and AI could tell you what you can cook and what you need to buy to complete the meal and also stay healthy. This is where grocery becomes a zero waste, personalized, health-driven event. So what are the three things that independent grocers can do today? One is to add AI-powered meal planning immediately. Give shoppers a reason to come to you, not Google or ChatGPT. Offer meal plans based on health conditions and budget and family preferences. This will definitely increase your basket size and also your loyalty. Turn your store into a health platform. So start positioning your store as food for health. You can use AI to recommend diabetic-friendly meals, highlight low-sodium or heart-healthy options, personalized promotions. This all builds long-term shopper relationships. AI can now build the basket for the shopper. So stop making the shoppers do the work. AI should be able to build your cart, suggest substitutes, optimize costs versus nutrition, because speed matters here. The faster the basket, the higher the conversion rate. This all means that your website must also now be AEO adapted. Now, here's where most grocers are falling behind. Your website is still built for SEO, search engines, but not for answer engines, AEO. And today's shopper is using ChatGPT, voice assistants, AI search. So if your site isn't AEO ready, you don't exist in the AI world. So here are my 3 steps to make your website AEO ready today. Step 1 would be structure your content for questions. Instead of weekly specials, use what are the best meals for diabetes this week? Think like the shopper's questions. Step two could be add an AI friendly data layer. So, product attributes like health and dietary tags and things of that nature, recipes linked to SKUs, mail bundles. This allows AI tools like Grocer AI, for example, to connect the data. Step three would be to enable conversational search. Your website should allow talk to your store. Example here, build me a $75 health plan, a healthy meal plan for 5 days. That's AEO in action. So here's the bottom line. Independent grocers don't need bigger budgets. They need smarter systems. And AI is leveraging the playing field. Tools like Grocer AI are proving that you can compete, you can win, and you can build deeper relationships with your shoppers, not through price, but through intelligence, personalization, and health. So if you're an independent grocer or a CPG brand, now is the time to act. Drop a comment below. What would you do? What would you like AI to do for you and your shoppers? And if you want practical AI strategies to grow your business, please let me know and subscribe to at Omnichannel Grocer. And don't forget to check out my live AI courses at profken.us, because the future of Grocer is being built right now. And this is where tools and companies like Grocer AI come in. So I want to introduce you to someone who is building exactly this AI future. Sanjeev Kharani, who's the founder of Grocer AI. What he's built is not just another app, it's actually an AI agent platform with over 20 plus intelligent agents that can analyze what's in your fridge, recommend meals based on health conditions, build a full shopping basket instantly, optimize it for budget, time, nutrition, and here's the key. It can be all deployed by independent grocers without massive tech investment, directly tied into their website or even a separate app. So that's really a game changer. So I had the opportunity to sit down with Sanjeev, and he is actually explaining how the Grocer AI app could help that shopper empowerment for independent grocers. So let's hear what he had to say with us. Hey everybody, this is Professor Ken, and I'm with Omnichannel Grocer. And today we have a really special treat because we have Sanjeev Kharani with us, who's with Grocer AI. And Sanjeev, we've met a few times already. In fact, I've seen the journey of what you've been doing the last couple of years, and it's quite remarkable where we are today, where you are today. So thanks so much for joining me on this discussion. I really appreciate that.
A pleasure is all mine, Ken. Thanks for having me.
Yes. So, one of the things that we talked about, and the reason why I wanted to have this conversation is because I think we're like-minded in the fact that we see the opportunity in independent grocers. And I know you have a tremendous background in doing a bunch of things you may be able to share, but if we look at where we are today in 2026, AI is not like a nice to have, right? It's a must have. If you're not operating with AI right now, I think you're really already behind. And what your system brings, the Grocer AI, is going to help an independent get there. So why don't we talk about the general idea of why is AI important to an independent grocer today?
I think it is important because if you thought small and independents, they were kind of left far behind in the e-commerce space. Now think about this agentic commerce, right? And there are really three different the journeys and the horizons that have actually happened, right? So we started with the transactional commerce. So where you are actually searching one product at a time from infinite grid to basically intentional commerce, where you're actually basically having a conversation. You are looking for a personalized recommendation. And now this notion of agentic commerce is while you're having conversation, AI automatically curates and personalizes basket for you. So what has literally happened, Ken, a decade of all these the technology advances, they have now packed up literally in matter of like months basically. And for the first time ever, I think small and independent, not only they can actually match up to what the large retailers with billions in infrastructure investment, very massive sort of like the AI teams, like proprietary data flywheel. For the first time ever, I feel small and independents actually can not just catch up, they could actually outsmart and in some cases out experience the large retailers.
Yeah, and I think that's really valuable to understand right now because 3 years ago, okay, it was something that we knew was coming, but the in order to touch it, you had to have a budget, a big, you had to have a big budget to do this. And for a small independent retailer, I'm talking about maybe someone who has just 5 stores, even one store, you couldn't do anything because the tools were just not affordable, and because we're working on such tiny, slim margins, tight margins, you can't make that investment. And now here we are in 26, just 3 short years later. And when I want to talk about Grocer AI and what you've done in just those 2 or 3 years, the tools are there at a much lower cost. So, like you said, you can compete with the Amazons of the world or the Walmarts of the world, which, by the way, are growing so fast online with grocery right now. And the independent grocer, and I lived this and I know it, the independent grocer has an advantage, I think, against the bigger companies because of the fact that they're tied into the community and they're tied into the culture. So what Grocer AI is doing too, you're pulling in all that information and you're able to sort of sift through all that and help that particular independent grocer get in front of their customer, which is what you want, right?
Exactly. And I think you touch upon several important points there, Ken. What used to, even if you look at the large retailers today, it's very much like the product and the SKU first sort of like the mindset, right? Like anything you type up in basically a search bar, like literally it tries to force and actually find a product, right? What has actually happened, explosion of the chat GPT and this answer engines, a consumer, especially the local and independent, why they shop there, they want to have a conversation, right? Like a honest conversation. Like, hey, what is good for me, right? Like, as we get into the demo, we'll talk about some of the even like things that are like pressing upon the consumers today, right? Uh, when we look at basically the notion of the chronic condition, over 60% of US population, they have one chronic condition or more.
Right.
If you even divide up that into the adults, like 34 to 64, that's literally 75% of us have one chronic condition or more. So, what is the role of like the small and independent? What is the role of basically the retailer to have basically a capability that not only understand consumer, like how we come, like what are, is it a health constraint? Is it a budget constraint? Is
Right.
it like I mean, what kind of food would actually help me with like some of the challenges that I have? So, the way we actually look at is the small and independent, they are no longer actually competing on the price and proximity, right? Like they got that, they understand customer, they are nimble, they are like innovative. But now what actually needs to happen is they compete on intelligence, right? And this intelligence is instead of the product first and the SKU first, it is the experience first, right? Like so that is where I think the a small and independent, they got unfair advantage related to the large retailer.
Yeah, and I think that's a very valuable point you're making, the experience. And we don't have to go too far to think about that. Look at the success as a Starbucks had as an example. There were coffee shops out there. There were plenty of coffee places out before Starbucks, but they created this experience and they became, the monster of the coffee cafe type of thing. Now, if the community, if the local store can also say, hey, you're shopping with us for that experience, and then tie in your personal preferences, whether it be for health reasons or dietary reasons or just, maybe pricing reasons, whatever it may be, I can cater to you a lot more better. So I give you a much better rewarding experience than the bigguys.com type of thing, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's really valuable. So tell us a little bit about Grocer AI and explain why an independent should consider doing something like with a company like yourselves. What does your software do, and how does it help me make that connection to the consumer?
So at the foundational level, Grocer AI, we started Grocer AI with a mission: empower healthy eating, make healthy eating affordable and accessible to everyone. So it's a free tool to consumer pretty much anywhere, sort of like you are in US, you could use our basically the website, the responsive mobile site
Right.
to pretty much throw a complex query, right? Like, and we have a set of AI agents. So we got over 2 dozen AI agents. Think about the food vision. Literally, you can take a picture of what is in your fridge or pantry, and it would actually tell you this is what you have, and it can even make now connection because you already have these 8 things. You only need 3 more things to actually put together an entire meal, right? Basically, and when we go into the demo, I'll show you example of that food vision. Uh, Second important agent basically is this notion of basically the meal planning, right? Like most of us, we have a fundamental question: what's for dinner? Like, what should I make? Like, and again, it's not the meal plan with basically, I think just a preferences for the cuisine, the dietary preferences. Basically, this is potentially also getting into the area like the health conditions we talked about, any kind of allergens or what have you. So. In demo, I'll actually show you in real time, like split second. It could literally generate a 14-day meal plan with pretty much anything you can throw at it,
Yeah.
like in terms of the health conditions, the dietary preferences, the cuisine. If doctor basically put you on a plan related to the precision nutrition, so daily intake of how much calorie, the fiber, fat. So we have a precision nutrition sort of like working in the background that could actually decode all that and make that available as part of that meal plan. And we got basically, as I said, we got agents that could look at the occasions, that could look at basically how much time you have available at hand. So let's say I only have 5 minutes, like I want to put together something very quickly, prep time, cook time, basically. And so basically, 2 dozen in a sense, basically, Grocer AI, we are a AI agent company at the intersection of grocery, healthcare, and retail, basically. And we nailed that. The beauty of our solution, Ken, this is not your the classic enterprise software multi-year sort of like basically complex like system integration, and we could be up and running in matter of like hours and the weeks, and our cost basically is a fraction of what would typically require like you potentially licensing either the Google or the
Right.
OpenAI or potentially any sort of like basically agentic AI capability that are out there, or potentially leveraging your enterprise software to customize and fine tune basically some of these more kind of the virtual assistant type of
Right.
use cases. So,
And I think that's interesting, Sanjeev, because you said two things there that I think is important. Number one, we know as consumers, and obviously on the grocer side, prices have inflated in a bunch of different categories.
40% inflation over past
Right. Yeah.
3 years. Yeah.
So, all right. So then when I go, my basket is going to be higher. However, with that being said, I still have the desire and even the need, the health need, like you said, to shop for certain items because it's going to help me, right, maintain my quality of life. So I have to be conscious of that. So I have to like sort of balance my budget with my health consciousness. So your app is going to help do that because it's going to help me find the right substitute or the right particular item, which I think is great for the consumer. And then I'm thinking about it on the retailer side. For the grocery side, you said something about the cost of the integration, which I think is great because what you're saying is you're agnostic. You can layer on top of existing software, which means I don't have a hard integration cost that's going to drive a complicated onboarding for my system, right?
So yeah, I think a very important point. I think you are conveying there, Ken. We are AI first, basically. We are also API first. The entire solution that you see. So we have the ability to seamlessly, basically, make this solution available right within the retailer, like the app. So in the case of Serranos, for example, they got their own website, they got the app. Using our API, basically, now you added an intelligence layer, basically. So
Right.
all these complex queries today, pretty much all the retailer, they are very keyword centric, basically, and the product centric, basically, the searches. by adding sort of like our intelligence into it, now you're actually natural language understanding capable.
Right.
You can understand this complex intent. If a consumer throws a kitchen sink of like a complex query, like, hey, I'm trying to meet my budget, the health, the
Right.
dietary, and a few members within my household, they like vegetarian, but I like something else, or what have
Right.
you. It can basically, all these agents could actually understand that complex intent and actually come back with the precise and personalized recommendation. So API is actually one way of actually integrating this. Can know. I think the complex sort of like the enterprise sort of like integration required beyond that. The second way the retailer could deploy us is literally we can build the entire white label experience. So if you're familiar with the Instacart storefront, basically they put together the entire thing, right? Like the site, the app, the
Right.
fulfillment, basically the shopper network. Think of that as a very similar solution where we'll run basically this the entire experience, basically this agentic AI and the AI experience on behalf of retailer. And in the demo, I'll show you. It will look like as an example, it will look like Sedanos. Basically, it will take all that complex queries. Basically, consumer have it would actually provide the personalized or like the recommendation, and it would basically solve for that intent in terms of are they looking for a meal plan, are they looking cooking
Right.
just based on the things they have at home. So yeah, it's really the intent is the most important underlining in this one, and the flexibility of our AI first and API first. Ken, this could be APIs that simply add intelligence into your existing experience, or potentially us running the entire sort of like the agentic experience on behalf
Right.
of retailers.
Yeah, and I think that's valuable because right now we know already there's a couple of big retailers and grocer that's already doing customized carts and customized experiences. I mean, Amazon announced, something that they Walmart has with the ChatGPT that you could build your own shopping cart, your own list, and all that. So
Yeah.
as consumers, we look for an easy way to do things, right? And that's what AI is all about. AI is all about how can it make your life easier, better, more, give you better quality of life? How can it save you an hour a day? That's always been my focus the last year or two.
Exactly.
And if I know I can go to a big store.com because they have this type of application, I'll probably lean that way because even if I have to maybe spend a little more money, but it's making my life a little easier, giving me back that time, and it's also helping me shop, then I'll probably lean that way. So that's, I think, a very
I think you are right on,
yeah,
Ken. It's really that notion of basically AI that understands who I am, basically. So going back to all those constraints and basically the preferences that we talked about.
right,
The second element, which is so important, is that the notion of speed of basket building. I
yeah,
don't have time, like going back to what you were saying, Ken. Every day, sort of like going through those same decision, like like, hey, what should I make? Like,
right,
I mean, trying to manually figure out, like, what do I have at home? Like, what should I order?
right,
When AI can not only basically tap into sort of like basically this notion of a pantry or a fridge intelligence, it could also tap into potentially like how each individual sort of like in my household they are different. Basically, the variety. Basically, I don't want to just have eat Italian for my lunch and dinner every day, right? Like I
that's
want to
right,
have some variety. Sometimes I
that's
want
right.
to eat out, right? Like so. AI that could actually figure all these out, still keep you very much sort of like aligned related to your health goals, right? Like that is where the notion of this food as medicine, the precision nutrition, and when we go in demo, I'll show you. I mean, all these capabilities they work
Okay,
seamlessly, and literally in split second, Ken, you could actually check out your entire week or 2 week worth of sort of like the basket over 1,800 retailers sort of like that are supported through Instacart. So
that's pretty
yeah.
amazing. Good. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's jump into a quick demo to give
Okay.
everyone a little taste of what you're offering here.
Okay, cool. Okay, Ken, yeah, again, appreciate you giving me the opportunity. I think as we talked about Grocer AI, we are agentic AI platform at the intersection of grocery, retail, and healthcare. Uh, one quick way to actually think about us basically is we make every grocery moment magical. Here are example of some of the AI agents that are sort of like listed. Let me actually start out with this notion of food vision that we talked about. Most of us, this is the fundamental problem we got, right? We have already a bunch of stuff at home, whether it's in our fridge or pantry, and how do I actually make use of those before they go bad, right? Some of them, I think, are perishable items. So if I go here, food vision. So literally, I'm going to actually take a picture of my fridge. This is from a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, it actually figured out basically as you look at the picture of basically my fridge. I have plant butter, the yogurt, the milk, the falafel, the bread. So this is one of that use case I was actually talking about, right? If I already have all these things at home, this is basically the zero waste chef. What can I make with what I already have, right? Like,
Right.
so let me click that, and it basically literally translated that into a query. Like were the things that I already have at home. So it basically, as you can see, it out of all those ingredients that I had, Ken, it's saying you have basically the milk, the blueberry, the raspberry.
Wow.
If I add two more item to the basket, basically I'm going to get my ginger berry smoothie as a thing. And if I look at the cart here, let me move this over here. It already basically gave me the inventory count of the stuff that we got at our home, and basically I just need to add two more item and basically actually have a complete meal for my family. Right now, you see here Instacart. One thing we talked about: if we were doing this experience for a a smaller independent retailer, this would be the name of that retailer, right? Like this
Right.
would be the entire experience would live inside, like Sedano's inside, like whatever those smaller independent
Right.
retailer that we were talking about.
So this way,
Any
if I
questions so
this
far?
way, yeah,
Yeah,
this way I can send it right to the cart, and then I don't lose that customer. I keep that customer inside.
exactly. Yep, I think you got it basically. So I could have very well started with this also. If I click here, Ken, what can I make with basically I could just type this, edit this. I can using my voice, I could actually speak this. So let's say, can you're driving basically from work to home, and then you basically like, hey, I have this stuff sitting at home. Like, what can I make? So
Right.
literally, you could actually, I mean, basically do that same query again, and basically, I think it will generate. The list of basically recommendation.
That's
So
great.
that was the example of food vision and zero waste chefs sort of like working together. We did talk about basically the state of the chronic condition in US. I mean, as I said, 3 out of 4 the adults basically they have a one or more chronic condition. So
Right.
in this example, basically, if I go at the bottom, basically at my query, I have diabetes and high blood pressure. Can you recommend healthy meals that support blood sugar control and lower in sodium? So if I click this, it literally actually came back with basically the meals. And now I'm also calculating the health score. So if I look at one of these basically meal, Ken, as an example, it take into account basically the diabetes, the hypertension,
Wow.
basically it also came up with the intelligence related, the health benefit, food as medicine. This is where the precision nutrition agent that I was talking about. So each and every measurement that is inside basically this recipe, it actually calculated the nutrient profile for that, and basically it corresponding to the health condition, it came up with actually a score basically. So this is a good way of you to basically I think very quickly this notion of food as medicine, any kind of health condition you throw at it, it would actually give you meals that are kind of optimized for that. Let me actually now do this another basically the example. So this notion of condition wise basically. So can you generate a 5-day meal plan for CBD and diabetic health conditions? So now instead of individual random set of meals that actually came here, I want to organize all of these as part of my 5-day meal plan. So if I do click this one, instantly it generated the 5-day. As you can see, the 5-day meal plan. I did actually mention that I have diabetes and CBD as a health
Right.
condition. Yep. So it automatically actually took into account if I had any dietary preference, like a cuisine, literally 120 cuisine. If you are provided that as a preference, those would show up here also. And if I look into each and every recommendation, this is now generating a summary table of the most important, the nutrients, calorie, the carbs, the fiber, the protein, the sugar, and so forth. And each meal plan that is actually now generated here, it would actually show basically a similar, like the CVD and the diabetes, like what is the overall kind of basically the health condition fit for this particular meal. I could individually check out one meal at a time, Ken, or going back to basically this notion of intent to basket, I could literally check out the entire 5 day meal plan basically at whatever the choice of retailer. Again, if we were powering this inside a small or independent retailer, it will only be them basically add
Right.
to cart just for that retailer basically.
So
So
you would set this whole thing up to my particular store, my commerce, so then it'll go straight from there. So I see a great advantage here because you're saying it's a first of all, it's a standalone app. You could do a white label type app where I can actually drive healthy options and then give this as a marketing tool to any of my shoppers, and then if they want to go ahead and purchase anything, we'll just take them right to the store.
exactly, exactly. So going back to basically, I think let's go back to basically our query. So let's say, can you generate this 5 day meal plan for CBD? I mean, if we were this on an independent, I'm using Sedano, Ken, that's where you came from,
Right.
just as an
As an
example,
example.
basically. I mean, as you know, I think I mean has no context, right? Like it doesn't
Right.
know. So this is what I was actually talking about. If we were powering this using our API right here before coming back with the error message, it would waterfall using our API, and now will rescue that entire experience. So instead of customer getting frustrated, like, hey, I'm trying to have a conversation, right? Like with
Right.
your, I mean, basically, I think we are all now, thanks to Chat GPTs and the other answer engines, we want to have the conversation, right? Like we want to actually talk with basically a retailer as if we were talking to a friend, and I think this is the opportunity. So.
Yeah. Now, can you go into like, so this is a local regional, but can you go into like a Walmart.com or a Kroger.com and get and put that question in to find out if they could do that as well? I'm wondering if they have that technology set up in their own system yet.
They are working as you know, Kroger. They did sign up with basically Gemini, basically. So
Right.
eventually, they would all be providing that capability. So let's generate this inside Walmart, basically. And as you can see, it came back with the books and
You're
all that.
right.
Basically. So even they are not good. Like eventually, they would actually most retailer the way they have implemented, they are keeping the product search different from basically their virtual assistant, like AI assistant that will show up here. And
Right.
now you could actually have basically this type of query within that experience. So I mean, I wouldn't say 100, but as a retailer, why don't you want to combine that, right? Like
Right.
and automatically sort of like understand the intent. And if they're asking a question about product, then just actually use this same default. But if they're asking more complex question, I mean, it should actually be smart enough to understand
Right.
that.
And I think that is really the very short future from now. We're not even I don't believe we're even going to be typing anytime soon, right? We're going to be speaking into everything. So I'm never going to type give me a plan, a diet plan. I'm going to say, "Hey, I'm diabetic. I need a plan for 5 days meals and here's my health condition and here's my budget. Give that to me and I want that answer." That's what's going to happen.
Exactly, exactly. I think here is example of what you are thinking, Ken. Let's go back to this complex query. And if you look at basically the example of this query, I have nut allergy, suffering from cold. Can you recommend healthy meals with calorie? In certain ranges, the sodium, the cook time, basically 90 minutes is too long. Let's do this like 20 minutes.
Right.
And under instead of $200, $100. So you're now literally think about, Ken, if you had to do this today with any large retailer or a smaller independent basically retailer, how much time this would take you. And if we
Right.
actually do this here, all the agents, as you can see, basically they are coordinating with each other. And literally
Wow.
now it actually came back with the meal that actually meet all these criteria. Basically, we can look into the calorie, is it in the
Right.
ranges
Oh no!
that I talked about.
If I did that separately, I probably would dump it into AI, and then I would get back several different links of answers, and I would have to go another level deep to find out
Yes,
which
yes.
stores have it, and then go another level deep. So it will still take me three, four, five clicks more to get to the answer I want, and
Exactly, exactly.
then
And now you have to manually create that entire cart into the choice of your retailer.
that's
So it won't create a basket for you. So the beauty of this one, the vegan kebab, as an example, can literally, I could look into all of these basically, like meet my criteria basically, and with one click, I can check out of my choice of retailer basically.
That's
So
amazing. Well, this is great. Thank you so much for sharing this demo, and we'll be sure to include your link. And I guess it's is grocery.shop. Is that where what the link is?
the Grocer AI shop, basically, like if you go to the main website, Ken, and just click this, see Jiva Plus in action. So this is our agentic AI, basically. And yeah, I mean, you could browse through recipe, like one recipe at a time. Basically, we talk about this 20-20-20 as our core value proposition. So we have 20 plus different AI agents, Ken. 20 over 20,000, basically close 24,000 meals. And we have a permutation combination of that 20 million optimization this AI agent to come up in a split second, actually come up with basically your entire basket,
That's
basically.
amazing.
So
Well, this is great. Thank you so much. I'm actually going to see if I can use it as a consumer, and I'll definitely make sure to spread the word because I think this is a very helpful tool, and I think it will drive not only revenue but drive a better community and a better connection with that local consumer. So, thank you, Sanjeev,
exactly. One
for
last thing I
sharing
want
this.
to yeah, no, I appreciate Ken you giving me the opportunity. One other thing I want to show is the beauty of this platform that we built. We can create that white label sort of like experience for pretty much any retailer out there. A retailer, the healthcare companies. So going back to what we were talking about, let's go to Sedanos. That's where you came from, Ken. So yep, Sedanos. And now the entire experience is Sedanos. Basically, the basket. If you go back here, this is now I can check out our the another AI agent would precisely match up what is here and then the Sedanos the skew basically. So
Right.
yeah, and we have basically created this platform where we can pretty much work with any size of the retailer. I mean, we talk about basically our speed, scale, and simplicity as our core advantage. And I think we are super excited because
That's
in
great.
addition to the retailer, the healthcare companies are also basically leveraging us as an important tool with the dietitians potentially helping members sort of like stay healthy. So yeah, I think we
Well,
I mean, excited basically to bring
that's
this to
great.
market.
Well, Sanjeev, thank you so much. That's really exciting. And I definitely see it's encouraging for anybody at any size to be able to do this because it's going to help you compete with not only the big guys, but help you be better in your store too. So thank you again for giving us an opportunity to take a look at this. I really appreciate it. And listen, I hope that we get to see each other again real soon. And I appreciate your time.
Yeah, we'll definitely see each other at grocery shop, and I mean, we may see each other
Sooner
even
than
sooner
that.
than
Yeah, exactly. All right, wonderful. Thank you.
that. All right, thanks, Ken.
Yeah.
Thanks for the opportunity. Bye bye.